what lies beyond the universe, and why no one wants to talk about it. Welcome to where science stops being comfortable. Welcome to Mind-Blown Space, the place where uncomfortable questions float in without permission and answers. When they arrive, always bring more mystery. Today we're going to cross a line few dare to look at. Because at one of the farthest edges of the observable universe, something so strange happened that some scientists decided to stay silent. Stay until the end to understand why. Imagine the universe as a great expanding sphere, like a soap bubble inflated by the energy of the Big Bang. At the center of that bubble is us, and as time passes, its surface expands faster than light can reach us. That means, literally, there are regions of space we will never see. Not because they're far away, but because they move away faster than anything can travel, and yet, something out there seems to be affecting us. This is not science fiction. For more than 2 decades, the most advanced telescopes have detected a phenomenon known as the dark flow, a massive movement of galaxy clusters fleeing in one specific direction, as if dragged by something gigantic beyond the edge of the visible. And the best part? No one knows what the heck is pushing them. This behavior was identified by scientists analyzing the cosmic microwave background, that fossil echo of the Big Bang. Using a technique called the kinematic Sunyaev-Zeldovich effect, they noticed the radiation heating up as it passed through some galaxy clusters moving too fast in the same direction. In short, something invisible, and probably monstrous, was dragging them with a force that shouldn't exist. But here's where the problem starts. According to the theory of accelerated expansion of the universe, nothing beyond the observable universe should have any influence on us. And yet, this flow of galaxies says otherwise. A contradiction? A failure in theories? Or simply a part of the universe we didn't want to see? The only thing clear is this. If there is something out there massive enough to move entire clusters, then our ideas about the universe might be as incomplete as a medieval map, an invisible tug with very real effects. The scariest thing about the dark flow isn't what it shows, but what it suggests. In 2008, a team of researchers led by a physicist from the Goddard Space Flight Center, name we won't repeat here, due to cosmic overload, published the results of their analysis on over 1,000 galaxy clusters. The verdict? They were all moving in the same direction, at speeds ranging from 600 to 1,000 kilometers per second. Yes, 1,000 kilometers per second, not per hour, per second. If that doesn't sound outrageous, it's because you've already surrendered to the absurdity of the cosmos. And the direction of that movement was even more unsettling. They pointed to a specific area of the sky, right between the constellations Hydra and Centaurus. What's there? Officially, nothing. Unofficially, enough to spark uncomfortable debates at astrophysics conferences. The idea that the observable universe isn't all there is has ceased to be a new age fantasy and slipped through the cracks of serious science. Because if the dark flow is real, then there's a colossal mass concentration beyond the visible boundary, pulling everything it can find like an impossible gravitational hook. And here's where cosmologists started scratching their heads harder than ever. How can something beyond the limit of the observable universe influence what happens inside? The most politically correct answer is, it can't. But of course, that's if we assume that boundary is real and not just a technological barrier. The key might lie in what happened before everything exploded, literally. In the universe's first moments, during what's known as cosmic inflation, space expanded faster than light. In that ridiculously short span, everything now thousands of millions of light years away was together. Meaning that something pulling the clusters could have left its gravitational imprint on us before it separated, like a forgotten caress from a monster we no longer see, but still feel. The problem, of course, is that no one wants to officially admit that might be true, because if we accept that something beyond the universe left its mark, then we admit we are not alone in the darkness. The universe is not as uniform as they swore. Until recently, physicists were pretty proud of the theory that defines the universe as a homogeneous and isotropic place. Translation for mortals: no matter where you look, you'll always see the same thing. A boringly uniform cosmos, where everything is distributed like a perfectly stirred cosmic soup. But then dark flow came and kicked the table over. The existence of a current of galaxy clusters moving en masse toward a specific region of space contradicts the principle of isotropy. And what if that region contains such a huge concentration of matter that it's breaking the rules? Well then, dear viewer, we've been sold a flat universe when in reality we might be living in a kind of cosmic fold. A quiet neighborhood surrounded by massive structures we'll never see, but that keep pushing from their shadowy corner. And if that weren't enough, there's another juicy detail. Some cosmological simulations have shown that to replicate dark flow as measured, You'd need a mass equivalent to hundreds of galaxy superclusters concentrated in a single region. Where would such a gravitational monster come from? Nobody knows. But the most fun part is watching experts sweat bullets trying to explain it without invoking terms like parallel universes or hidden primordial structures. Because of course, admitting that there is something out there beyond the observable universe that not only exists but has measurable effects here inside would be like accepting that the world map ends at an abyss where ships can still fall off. And that doesn't look good in a scientific presentation. Some cosmologists have already proposed alternative hypotheses to sweep the problem under the rug, that it's data errors, measurement contamination, or galaxy clusters exaggerating because they wanted attention. But the truth is that, at least for now, no one has been able to prove that dark flow is an illusion. And what's most annoying is precisely that, the possibility that it's real. Because if the universe is not uniform, then our most sacred theory, cosmic inflation, could be built on a false assumption, and that means starting over. From scratch. What might lie beyond, and why they don't want you to know? Here's where the story takes a turn. One of those twists that would make science fiction writers smile. Because if dark flow can't be explained by anything inside the visible universe, the only option left is to look beyond. And there, in that beyond, is where theories get uncomfortable. There are proposals that beyond the observable universe lie other bubble universes, entire regions of space-time with their own physical laws. So far away we'll never see them, but close enough in the early moments of the Big Bang to have pulled us with their ancient gravity. Does that sound exaggerated? Maybe. Implausible? Not so much. Because if there was cosmic inflation that expanded the universe from a microscopic point to one larger than the galaxy in a fraction of a second, there's no reason to assume our bubble was the only one to inflate. There could be trillions. Some small, others so vast that even from their edge they gave us a gravitational push we still feel billions of years later. And here comes the creepiest part. In recent decades, several cosmologists have started seriously considering that dark flow is not a coincidence, but a signature. A mark of collision between our universe and another that existed before or alongside ours. Something that happened in the first flickers of time, before atoms, light, or matter existed. And now, centuries later, we barely notice it as a slight push in the wrong direction. Of course, this is not something most institutions are willing to admit publicly. Not because it's a conspiracy, although that word is tempting, but because acknowledging it would mean reshaping the foundations of modern cosmology. It would be like discovering the universe map only shows the entrance to a library, and there are entire rooms they never showed us. Dark flow might not be the hint of a massive hidden galaxy, but the trace of a structure older, stranger, and vaster than anything we understand. And if that's true, then we're not seeing a phenomenon, we're seeing a boundary. Thank you for joining us on this journey to the edge of the universe. If this content left you staring into the void with new questions, subscribe to Mind Blown Space, hit the bell, and share this video. Because in the cosmos, there's always something beyond the beyond.